What's up, guys? In today's episode, I'm replacing a microwave with a range hood. This customer had issues with grease building up everywhere because I guess they like cooking a lot. If you have that problem, well, the exhaust that comes with your microwave is not enough. You need something more specific to exhaust all the fumes out. So that's what I'm doing today. And so the first thing you need to do is you need to remove the microwave from the wall. There are going to be two screws on the upper cabinet that actually hold it in place. The microwave itself is sitting on the wall on a bracket, the back side of it, and the screws on the top keep it from tilting down. You will see in just a minute once I take the screws off how easy it is to actually take that microwave down. Just tilt it down, get the power cord through the hole in the cabinet, and then all you gotta do is just take it off. Super easy, just like that. If you guys want to know how much I charge for this job and how I came about the price and all that good stuff, well, stick to the end and I'll let you know. Now, you see the bracket right there? Well, the next thing you're going to need to do is take that bracket off. Um, when doing estimates like this, you have to make sure you account for damage to the drywall, especially if you're going to be changing from a microwave to a hood. The hood is going to be shorter, so a lot of the wall behind the microwave is going to be showing, and most times is damaged. So keep that in mind when quoting a job like this. The hardest part of this job, to be honest, is sometimes the exhaust hole up there in that cabinet does not line up with the new hood, and you may have to cut the cabinet and just makeshift something to just make it work. That will be the hardest part of the job, I guess, for any time that you're either installing a microwave or you're changing the hood. Now this wall right here was full of grease, and so what I was trying to do here, I was just wiping it off. They didn't ask me to do that, so but I was doing it, and things, little things like that is what keep your customers calling you. So they did notice because they towards the end of the job they did tell me and thank me for doing it. But here's the hood. On the top, there's gonna be a plate. You're gonna have to take that off. Now this hood comes with several pieces, attachments that go on top. So you're gonna have a round one that is meant for a round exhaust, and then you're gonna have a rectangular one, well, which obviously is the one that I'm using today. Super easy to do. Just take the screws off and then screw the new one in. One thing that I didn't do until towards the end for this one specifically is plug in the thing to the wall to make sure that it works. You don't want to go through the whole process just to find out that it doesn't work or something is broken. So always test your equipment, your appliances, everything before installation just to make sure. Because if you do all the work and the thing doesn't work, even though it's not your fault, well, guess what? You're going to have to take it down. And then the customer most likely is going to be upset about paying you, even though, it's not your fault that the thing wasn't working. So right here, I'm just installing the exhaust attachment that goes on the top. And you see how it sticks up. That's another thing that you got to keep in mind, especially if you're going to be hanging it up there, just to make sure that it's going to clear the cabinet. I looked everywhere for a template, a whole template for this one. I could not find it. Sometimes actually printed on the box itself that the thing came with, but I could not find it anywhere. So a quick trick that you can actually do is just get a piece of cardboard, cut it to the shape of the hood or anything else that you're trying to install, and then just trace the holes. But um, before doing that, I changed my mind and actually took the grill off on the bottom because I read the instructions. Sometimes you gotta read the instructions. But anyway, so I was either gonna use a template or I read the instructions, and then it says to actually take the bottom piece off and screw it from the bottom. There are gonna be 4 holes on the bottom that you can actually reach from the inside. One thing that I wish I had for this job, you can see the holes right there, was an extension for my drill bit. I had to makeshift something to make it work, but if I had an extension at least 6-8 inches long with a swivel tip, it would have been way easier. I think that's what took me the longest because I was holding this hood up and then I was trying to screw it in with my screwdriver, and then it was too short, and then it just was a pain. I think just holding it up there and trying to screw it in place and going to my truck like 10 times trying to find something long enough to reach through those holes, it took me probably an extra 30 minutes. If I had an extension, it would have been a lot easier. So the extension I'm talking about, you can see it on the screen right now. If you're gonna be doing this job, I highly recommend it. It will make your life a lot easier. But anyway, so what you do is get the power cord, stick it through the existing hole that there was in the cabinet, and then just hang the hood up there. It's not really that heavy. I don't remember how heavy it was. But you can just, if you have help, you can have somebody help you. If you don't, then you're just gonna have to manhandle it. That's what I was doing over here, and as soon as you get one screw in, it just gets a lot easier. But don't get complacent because you are screwing underneath the cabinet, and those cabinets are not the hardest wood ever. So you gotta be careful and make sure that it's actually gonna hold in place. But as soon as I got two screws in place, it was super easy. And then what actually gave me the hardest time, it wasn't so much the front screws, it was the back ones because the blowers were right next to it. So I couldn't get my screwdriver to go through those holes, because it was too short. So, but I went to my truck and I actually got several drill bits and I stuck them together on top of each other, and then barely I was able to get the screws in there. Another tip for when installing anything like this, make sure you wear gloves. Because if you don't, you're gonna get your grease, your fingerprints all over the appliance, and then that's an extra thing you're gonna have to do towards the end, um, because you're gonna have to clean it up. And cleaning fingerprints of appliances, it's just complicated. But you can see there my makeshift drill bit that I did, and finally I was able to stick it in there. Overall, this job really wasn't that complicated. Um, for those of you wondering how I got the customer, well, this customer found me through my website. They just typed in on Google, range hood replacement installer, and then somehow I came up, and that's how they found me. So, here I'm testing the appliance. You can see I was turning the light on, I was turning the fan on, but like I said earlier, always test it before you do all the work because you just never know. I got another installation that I'm gonna be posting soon. I didn't have any power in the house, but something was broken on it. But anyways, that's another video. So here I'm putting it on, and anyways, so that's how the customer found me. So how much did I charge for this job? I charged $250. And the reason I charged $250 because that is the going price for something like this in my area. Actually, it's a little higher, but I gave these people a break because the guy is it's a veteran, and then anytime I work for veterans, I always give them a break. So because we gotta help each other. Now over here, I'm patching those little holes on the wall, just getting some joint compound. I always use 5-minute joint compound. It dries very quickly, and then I can texture it too really fast. So I don't have to do like one coat and sand it down and then texture it. For whatever reason, it's a little thicker, so it makes it a lot easier for me to texture it. But other than that, yeah, 250 bucks. And how long did it take me? It took me, I would say, 2 to 2.5 hours. So it wasn't that difficult, and they actually disposed of the old microwave as well. Now, for a regular customer, I would have charged probably $350, and that would have included removing and disposing of the old microwave. But that's for just a regular customer. For these people, gave them a break. Another tip is make sure you cover everything that you're going to be working on. You don't want to scratch anything. and always clean up after yourself. And people will notice, and that is how they're gonna keep calling you. Initially, these people actually, I also done other work for these people, not just this microwave hood, range hood actually. But they keep calling me because they're happy with my work. But here it is, all done, super easy to do. Only 4 screws are holding it up there. It's not coming down. I checked. But other than that, this job is super easy. And if you're trying to do it yourself, it may take you a little longer than it took me, or faster. Who knows? But it's doable, guys. Anyways, like the video, and I'll see you next time.